I want to brag on God a little bit. So stay tuned for a quick story. I'm Shelly with the God's Goodness podcast, and the podcast has episodes with God's goodness and modern day miracles. I got to live and have a real life miracle happen over the weekend. It may be small, but to this person, it was a big deal. I went on a women's retreat, and this one teenager was roughhousing, and she got a headache. And Sunday morning, I asked, "Did you pray about it?" And they had not. I said, "Let's do that." So we prayed over it, and I asked her, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? And she said it was a 5. And I'm like, okay. So we prayed over it, and then I asked her, "How do you feel?" And she said it was, she was feeling her head where the bump was, and she's like, it's a 1, maybe a 2. And I'm like, okay, great. The healing has started, but maybe you just need a little more, like me. When I was healed of 17 years of chronic neck and shoulder pain, my husband laid hands and prayed, and it took a few times for him to pray, but we chased out the pain, and I've been free of it for almost 10 years. So we prayed again, and she felt her head, and then it was so cool to see her eyes. She was like, she kind of had this look of disbelief, like, oh my gosh. And her pain went to a 0. And I was like, yay, God. God is so good. And he wants healing for all of us. It's his will for all of us to be healed on this side of heaven. Don't wait for the other side. My favorite Bible verse has always been, ask and you shall receive. So ask him today. What are you looking for? What do you need from God? Ask him. And then after you ask him, sit in quiet and listen. Just like you're having a conversation with somebody, you have to shut up and receive information from them, like a volleyball game, back and forth. And when you do, you might be pleasantly surprised at what he has to say to you. If you want some encouraging stories, we have a wide variety on our podcast. So check it out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, hit the follow button so you can follow along.